this episode, we're going to look at positive projects that are fighting against knife crime. And today I've travelled all the way over to Bardsley to talk to the guys at Really NEET project.
Little brothers need to man up. Keep the city still, let's just stand up. Don't take a brother's life, cause you're afraid to have a fight. Then go jail and take battle.
There has been a lot in the news about knife crime, about banning zombie knives and machetes. Have you heard about it? Yeah?
Yeah, I've heard about the zombie one.
You've heard about it. Do you think that they should be banned already?
Yes.
Yeah. So in 2018, the legislation was put in, no, 2016, sorry, a legislation got put in place to ban all zombie knives, full stop. However, the zombie knives couldn't be called zombie knives or zombie killers or have any sort of violence. And because they listed that in like the description, it meant that they could still manufacture zombie knives. That's why they can still get away with it. So this current ban is to just ban them all, full stop. Now, what do you think the main point of a zombie knife is?
To injure someone.
What?
To injure someone.
To injure someone 100%. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's got the word zombie in the name. A zombie knife would be used against it would be used against a zombie, and like it's implying violence in its name.
Yeah. Because you know something's gone very, very wrong if you're having to create a knife just to kill a zombie. Now, has anybody actually seen a zombie before? No. So why are people creating them then? We don't know. Have you also seen in the news about XL bullies?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are our feelings towards the XL bullies? Should they be banned or no?
I think it's no.
No?
In my
What's more dangerous, an XL bully or a zombie knife?
A knife.
Whoever's holding it.
The knife. So it was in August last year when Rishi Sunak said that he would ban zombie knives and nothing's been done. And then in September the same year, he said he was going to ban XL bullies. Which one did he ban first? The XL bullies. It's still not banned the zombie knives. The zombie knives are still out on the streets, they're still manufactured. However, the XL bullies are now banned and you could face prison for having one. Do you think that's fair or not?
No.
No. So we can all agree that a zombie knife is way more dangerous than an XL bully. The maximum jail term for someone over 18 is 4 years. Only 4 years. Do you think that is a lot? Or do you think that's enough for someone caught carrying a weapon in public?
Carrying or using?
Carrying. Just carrying, not using it. Just in the pocket.
Yeah, but if you're carrying it, you've got that intention to use it.
Not necessarily.
Not really, because
Okay then. What reason do you think somebody might have for carrying a knife in the town centre or city centre?
Well, they're gonna be using.
Stab somebody.
They're either gonna use it to stab somebody or use it for their protection, like so. They've got it there just in case it does happen.
Yeah. Just in case.
Basically, they're scared to go out without a weapon.
Yeah. So, from the talks I've done, that's the biggest reason of someone carrying a knife is for protection. Now, the question is it really, does it really protect you?
No, because 99% of people that carry the knife are the ones that get killed with it.
I won't say 99%. That's a bit high. But a lot of people do. You're 3 times more likely to get injured if you carry a knife. That's why I think we're in the situation we are now with young people, because there's not enough people telling them that everybody else isn't carrying a knife. Do you think it's wrong or right that someone carries a knife for protection?
It's wrong.
You think it's wrong? Does anyone think it's right to carry a knife for protection? No? Everyone thinks it's wrong? Oh, I got a good set of kids here. Does anybody know somebody that carries a knife?
yes.
Hands up if you know someone. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell police.
Feds come after me.
3, 4, 5, 2 hands there. Or did you fall?
Nah, I fell.
Oh, 2 hands. So about half of you know someone that carries a knife. So When do you go out with that person or do you just know him?
Oh, no.
You just know him? Yeah? You
But-
don't chill with him, no?
No comment. That camera's on you.
You know,
No
comment
You
it.
may potentially go out with them.
I'm not saying
No,
no.
okay. Listen, please don't turn around to that camera because police will be right at you. They'll be right there.
That's why I'm saying that. Shot me.
Why? Because you've got one.
No.
Do you think if you chill with someone that does carry a knife, do you think that makes you safer as well?
No,
No.
Why?
because you're more likely for people to turn on you as well.
Exactly. I've seen this before where, you know, when you get into a state and you're angry and you're just lashing out, people try and pull you back, but you don't know if that person that's pulling you back is your friend or someone that you're arguing with.
So you just win.
So you tend to start to fight with them. Now that happened in Sheffield some time ago where a guy went a bit mad with a knife and his friend tried to pull him off and he turned around and stabbed his friend in the stomach. And I don't know how many stitches he had, but he like ripped him properly open. And I bet he thought when he was with his friend that he was protected because if anybody comes to try and fight with us, he's got a knife, he'll pull out the knife, he'll protect us. Do you see where that went a bit wrong?
We work with young people, 16 to 25, who have got special educational needs. So that's ADHD, autism, dyslexia, all sorts really. Young people who have disengaged in education, probably from year 7 in school. And our project is a bit different to your normal education provider where we do things a lot differently and we are youth work driven.
Youth work driven, I like that. What are some of the advantages of being youth work driven in a place of like education?
It's about the connection with young people that we have and then building them positive relationships. And I think in any education, you need to have that relationship before you can start education. So we do a lot of building them bridges with young people. A lot of young people have been let down in education in the past, being called bad. You're never going to get anywhere in life, you're going to be a bum. And what we try to do in our project is flip that on its head and show young people that actually you can be somebody, you just got to put the hard work in for it. And it doesn't matter whether you're ADHD or autistic or dyslexic, you know, we are special, we've got special minds and they need youth workers to tell them that they've got them special minds because they're not told that, they're just told that they can't do it. And that's why we have the project that we've got.
I think it's good. It's definitely
A need.
it's definitely a positive way of looking at it, especially if the young people are disengaged with education. You know, it's not teaching what they need.
Yeah.
It's that relationship first, and then, like you said, once you built that relationship, the education can come after. So, have you got any stories that you can tell us about young people that have been here, gone through your education, and then gone on to bigger and better things?
Yeah, I've worked for Really NEET quite a long time from when it first started back in 2012. I had a break from it myself because my own daughter got diagnosed with ADHD and autism. And some of the young people that we work with in Sheffield, some of them are running their own businesses now. Some are working full time. And they always believed when they were in school that they wouldn't ever be able to achieve them things. So we've got some really good stories. And I don't think it's just about the young people what are whole stories. I think staff members hold stories as well, and that's what enables us to be able to connect better with them young people because we've got stories what we are able to show them young people and say, well, I were in this position where you were, and look where I am now. And then that's why I do the job that I do today because I want to show young people that no matter where you come from or what you've been given in life, you can still achieve. You've got to want that yourself. You need people around you to show you that. But yeah, it's just showing them that they can achieve and they can be better. But they need them positive role models to be able to do that. And I hope what we do here at Really NEET is that we show that.
I think knife crime started going up in 2014. Have you noticed a difference in young people over that time frame as to why knife crime amongst young people is as bad as it is now, or have you not seen a difference?
I've definitely seen a difference is in that young people fear being out in communities, and a lot of work that I've done with young people is when you're asking them about why they'd want to carry a knife or their friends carry a knife, it's because they fear that something bad might happen to them or they might get involved in something, so they use that as a protection. And we're trying to show them and give them the statistics around if you're carrying a knife, you're more likely to get stabbed yourself with that knife. But yeah, I think that there has been a real, like, it's got worse over years, definitely, but it's because nobody's doing anything about it except for like organisations like you.
How old are you?
18.
18. So at 18, you're classed as an adult, right? Do you think that 4 years is long enough for somebody to get sent to prison if they're caught carrying a knife?
No, probably should be longer.
How long would you say?
20 years.
20 years? That's a long time. Why 20 years?
Shouldn't be carrying a knife around.
They shouldn't be carrying a knife around. Do you think that they understand how dangerous it is carrying it?
No.
I don't think they do either. I don't think they do. What would you say to someone that's thinking about carrying a knife?
Probably don't do it.
Don't do it. Why?
Arrested or sent to prison.
Yeah? I think that's fair. I think that's fair. What happens if there's a group of people and the rest of the group's carrying a knife? Do you think it'd be harder for that person not to carry one because all their friends are?
Yeah.
How do you think, what could we say to them, do you think, right, that would make them listen to us instead of copying their friends?
Just don't copy him.
Just don't copy them?
Just don't get involved.
Yeah?
You know what I mean?
Do you think they'll listen to us though? Do you think they'll just copy what their friends are doing?
Probably try copy. Because they're like trying to, you know, copy off other people and that.
Yeah. Oh, never. Are you ready to get beat now? Look, see. Oh, you got 2 shots?
Oh, I'm not fucking with that one.
Do you think it's important that people like me come in and do talks about knife crime?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you think that I've helped you understand more about knife crime?
Yeah, definitely.
So project is based on 16 to 25-year-olds, although current cohort is 16 to 18. It's for NEET students, which is not in education, employment or training. Basically for young people who are unable to fit into a mainstream college environment for whatever reason. The students all have EHCPs in place, so all have a level of need, whether that be a social level or more of a diagnosis-based level. So we do art qualifications, English and maths functional skills qualifications, and then we do a lot of life skills based work as well. So we do PSD, careers, occupational studies, things like travel training, and then obviously bring you guys in and other organisations to sort of give students a bit more of an awareness about the world outside of college.
Yeah. So why do you go to external providers instead of doing it for yourselves?
So we don't have to teach.
So you don't have to out for an early tea break?
Yeah, that's it. A cup of coffee. So unfortunately, we don't always have the correct experience to give information that's actually really important. So, for example, things like knife crime.
Yeah.
That's a bit more of a specialist subject, and I think it comes across a little bit better from somebody that has more of a life experience of it than, and because we've got an all-female staff team as well, it just comes across a little bit better from somebody that has that experience and knows the areas that these students are in, rather than us preaching something to them that we don't really have an awareness of and don't really know very much about.
My best mate got killed due to a knife.
Your best friend?
Over a girl.
And he got killed?
Yeah.
Stabbed?
Yeah.
And he died really?
Yeah. Best about it, The good thing about it is he were talking on phone to his mum once he'd got stabbed. It were only once they put him into the coma that he died.
So he got stabbed over a girl?
They'd put him into a coma to take blade out, and it had killed him.
So he got stabbed over a girl? Yeah? He got put into a medically induced coma? Yeah? And he didn't make it out of that? How long ago was it?
I think it's about 2 years now. It's going on 2 years.
How did it affect you?
Well, I was one of the first to hear about it, and I didn't come out of my bedroom for weeks.
Really? Did it get you down?
Yeah. I went to school with him and everything.
Really? Was he in your year in that class?
He was a year below me.
Yeah?
He was training for Barnsley Football Club.
Oh, he was a footballer?
Yeah, at the time.
Was he good, yeah?
Yeah.
He good?
And then he'd met this girl, and the lad that killed him had turned round to him and gone basically, well, turned round to the lass and said, any lad you'll get with, I'm going to come and absolutely annihilate them. And he'd found out on Snapchat that where he was, and he was meeting up with her, gone and killed him.
So that guy that killed him weren't with the girl?
No.
No, he was just jealous?
Yeah. His ex. You've probably heard about it on news.
Do you think that your friend actually thought that he was going to kill him for talking to her?
He didn't know.
He didn't know?
He was just riding his bike along.
So he didn't even see the guy coming?
Well, he saw him coming, but he thought, oh, he's just walking past.
So he just thought it was just a random person, he's on his bike, this guy's just walking past, he's going to continue walking past like everybody does, I'm going to ride my bike, and then what, he pulled out the knife?
I don't know exactly what happened, but from what I've heard, he was walking his bike down to meet this lass. They'd gone to meet outside of school to go on a walk.
Yeah.
Walking down, this lad's come walking up to him and just stabbed him. Blade's been stuck in him, handle snapped off in his lobbed handle in a bush, that's how they found him.
So they found the weapon, or the handle of it, and it had his fingerprints on it?
Yeah.
So how long did the guy get locked up for?
I think they gave him 20-something years.
Really?
With parole. With possible parole.
Do you think that were worth it? Do you think that's a good enough sentence for killing somebody?
He deserves life.
What do you think?
Deserves life.
Really? Full, 35 life? Yeah?
Not because it was my best mate, but just because of the fact he was carrying a knife in general and he's murdered somebody.
Yeah. Did you?
If it were a random person I didn't know and he'd killed them, I'd still say same.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. Did your friend carry a knife or anything?
No. It was good. It was training for football. It just applied for college. It was doing all sorts.
Such a shame. How has it affected you?
Well, it's made me realise that carrying a knife ain't worth it.
Yeah.
And you're only going to hurt people around you and yourself.
So here we have one of our portable weapon amnesty bins. They're not your usual ones because, like I said, we made them portable. We did this by adding 4 wheels at the bottom, brackets on the back to chain the bin up to anything sturdy and solid to the ground. Come a bit closer and I'll show you inside. So we have 2 locks on the bins to make it harder for people to break into. Inside the bin, you have a shaft system that makes it impossible for people to put their hand in to grab anything out of the bottom. What happens is the person will put the weapon in there, it will shut, it will bounce from there to there to there and into the basket at the bottom. The basket gets taken out and the weapons gets disposed of there. And when we lock it up, we do the same, but the opposite way around. When I am emptying the bins, I make sure I've got my Kevlar gloves on so I can't get stabbed by any of the weapons inside. I also wear a Home Office approved stab proof vest just in case anybody gets any ideas to try and attack me while I am emptying the bins. So the weapon amnesty bins are this size so we can move them around easily to decide where they'd be most effective. Also, because they're small, we check them regularly, and thankfully, thanks to the South Yorkshire Police, they do get checked. All of the weapons get stored in a safe location until we have enough to create a piece of artwork to represent the hard work that we're doing in our communities to fight against knife crime.
We tackle youth violence and child drug exploitation. We create protective factors in terms of workshops, create a safe environment for young people and mothers.
Can you tell us about any prevention projects you've got going for knife crime?
So what we're doing is we're doing focus-based workshops looking at healthy relationships, because what we believe is that the knife crime is at the end of a spectrum. So we focus on prevention rather than intervention. So what we look at is we look at healthy relationships, we look at promoting self-esteem, building resilience, and we do that through boxing, we do that through different programs in terms of doing mind maps, looking at what young people's aims and aspirations are. So we do different things like that. For the mothers and fathers, we're running a parenting program, which is called Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities. So it's a strength-based approach to parenting.
It looks like knife crime's not getting no better at the minute. You work with a lot of parents. What are parents' feelings towards knife crime? Are they worried about their children?
Yeah, they are. They're worried, they're concerned, they're scared. They feel not enough is being done. So they'll hear about different things that are happening. No one is working together.
Yeah.
There's no uniformed approach. So one person's doing one thing over here, one person's doing one thing over here, and everyone's working independently. So my thing is always, that's great, because you are you, I am me, and we all bring something different to the table. But the system is built in such a way that it pitches us off against each other.
Yeah.
So even if people want to work together, it's about survival.
Yeah.
And it's about, what's in it for me, because I have to survive. I have to make the centre grow. I have bills to pay, overheads to pay. How am I going to grow? And sometimes what's happening is what parents are seeing is that there's nothing uniformed within the city where they can say, oh yeah, here's a website on the Sheffield City Council and maybe a list of all the programmes that are taking place across the city. There's no information. They have to literally come into the centre and then they realise, oh yeah, you're here. So for me, they're concerned about the lack of uniformed approach to knife crime.
So South Yorkshire, when we're talking about policing areas, was named the fifth worst in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Can you understand why?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel what the police have done, they go to places where it's visual. And what I mean by that is they will focus on the crop houses. So in the area where I live, every other week there's a raid. There's they get the houses, get them out. But to me, conversations I've had with them, I'm like, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Because another one will pop up around the corner. We need to have police within our community, understanding our community and looking at the reasons why you've got migrant workers, people who are on low income, who are running these houses. Why are they doing that? You look at the root causes. So for me, the police have always, it's about enforcement, I get it, but it has to be about prevention as well.
Yeah.
And you can't have intervention without prevention.
What does the future look like for Mums United? What are your plans?
For me, I want to continue to run the Strengthening Family, Strengthening Community Parenting Programme. I feel like sometimes mums, and the reason why I chose to do that was because a lot of the mums were struggling and they didn't understand what community violence was. And this programme talks about youth violence, and it talks about teaching techniques, but it also looks at ourselves, who we are, who am I as a mother, you know, what have I learned in my parenting growing up as a child, you know, how has my ethnic values, spiritual values, how have they impacted me? And if I haven't had any of that, how am I meant to parent this young child in front of me? So it really looks at the root causes, it gives strategies to parents, but it's really about the individual themselves. And it's the second programme we're running. It's fairly intense, but a lot of mums and dads have spoken about trauma, and they've never spoken about it before. So I want to continue the young people's programme, which focuses on the 3 S's: self-esteem, self-discipline and social competence. That's been good for them, and we're blending the boxing element into it, and just continue doing that and start to get the young people to run the projects. I think that's my next step.